I'm not sure who needs to hear this, but if you're at a job that you're not happy at, you need to figure out a way out. This does not apply to anyone that already has their dream job or absolutely loves their job. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is just I've been seeing these types of videos over and over and over. After I was watching one on this dude on YouTube, you guys probably have seen him. He works at 7-Eleven. And I believe he's in his mid 20s, maybe 30s. And he talks about why he's at 7-Eleven. I don't want to put words into the dude's mouth, so if you guys find the guy, feel free to watch his videos. But he just posted one, and I haven't gotten to it yet. I just saw the video, and it said that he got fired after 3 years at his 7-Eleven job. And it just got me thinking, some people, and I'm not talking about him in particular, it just got me thinking in general, some people really don't have a backup plan when it comes to jobs. And it's kind of scary. And I'm included in that. Like, there's been jobs that maybe I wasn't a fan of, and as soon as I start to get that feeling like, oh, like maybe I'm about to reach a ceiling at this job, or maybe there's nowhere to move up in this job, you know, I started to either work on my resume or start looking for jobs. And it's not always perfect, but you do have to understand that just as easily that people can leave a job can just leave you. They can just drop you. There's a lot of companies that are doing cuts, pay cuts. What is going on here? But there's a lot of companies doing pay cuts. There's a lot of companies trying to maximize their profits. And especially depending on the time of the year, there's a lot more layoffs in some parts of the years than there are others. But that's neither here or there. You gotta have a backup plan, right? And it's okay not to be happy at your job, but you have to identify that you're unhappy. Like, yeah, you're feeling the feelings, but like me, some people don't act on those feelings and end up staying longer than they should at a job. If you guys have seen my videos in the past, I'm always talking about the warehouse job that I was at for 5 years. And it took me an extra 3 years to realize, like, I need to get the hell out of here. Like, I need to improve something in my life. Like, this job is not it. I already reached the cap of what they're paying at the job. Like, I literally hate waking up, going to that job. I know I'm not meant for a warehouse job. Nothing wrong with warehouse jobs, but I was there 5 years. It's long enough. And I just felt like I wasn't going anywhere at that job. So when I actually kind of came to a realization that I needed to make a change, I made a change. But it took a long ass time. I should have left after 2 years, and I ended up staying there for 5 years. Started as a driver at the warehouse, eventually worked up to be a manager, but it just was not worth it. The pay was not worth it. The job was not worth it. The people were great. Great people. Even though some talked down to customers, I wasn't a fan of that. But again, that's neither here nor there. That might be a topic for another video. But don't be like me, waiting an extra 3 years to make a change at a job when you should have made that change long ago. Once you start hating to wake up to work, to head to that job, once you start just dreading the job in general, the smallest little things bother you about the job, it's time to go. It's time to go. And it's you gotta have a backup plan. Again, that dude that I just recently saw from that 7-Eleven video, I'm not sure if hopefully he has a backup plan, but I'm gonna watch the video later and see why they fired him. But just that, oh man, that's just gotta be rough. Staying at a place for so long just to get let go. And I've seen people at jobs longer than that, longer than 3 years, just get let go out of the blue. And it's sad to see, like, a lot of these people invest so much into those jobs, and then when the company no longer needs them, or the company maybe believes that they can replace that person because maybe, I'm not sure, maybe the longer tenured people cost more, so they'd rather spend the money and resources to try to hire someone else at a lower rate. To me, that never made sense, but that's just what happens sometimes. There's another dude on TikTok who consistently makes videos on like corporate life and like kind of like POVs of how like a boss and a manager and the workers handle certain situations when it comes to business. And one of the recent videos that I saw on him was he was playing as the manager of the department, and the best performing worker wanted a raise because they introduced, I don't know, a couple million extra to the business, and they wanted to be compensated for it, right? And the worker was promised a bonus, I believe, of 40,000 extra because of the numbers that they were able to hit. They were able to crush their numbers. So the manager then says, I'm not sure if we can do an increase. We could probably do a $3,000 a year increase, and kind of broke the promise. But it wasn't the manager's fault. The manager was kind of just taking orders from the head honcho, the CEO or the owner of the company. So the manager speaks to the owner of the company, says, hey, listen, we need to retain this worker. Like, he's our best performer. And I believe that spending money trying to get someone new is going to be a lot more than just giving him what he's asking for. So then the owner was like, let him walk. We don't need the guy. It's fine. Fast forward months later, the company is struggling. The owner's like, what's going on? Why are we not meeting numbers? The manager goes, well, we just came off of mass layoffs. We just lost our highest performer, and we're just struggling to meet standards, so to meet the numbers. And then the manager brings up that employee and says, listen, like, we're spending so much more money trying to find a replacement for our best performer when we could have just given him what he was asking for, and it would have been a lot less money spent by the company. So the CEO kind of brushes it off and says, just give it a couple more weeks or months and we'll see what happens. Well, long story short, the manager actually reached out and tried to bring the guy back. The guy wasn't able to get back because the boss didn't want to give the raise. He said, just forget about it. So eventually the manager asked if he asked the high earner if his company's hiring, if there's any hirings, because it just wasn't worth the headache. Like, the money was good for the manager, but it just wasn't worth the headache that he was dealing with, right? So a lot of these jobs, and not all of them, I can't speak for every single company out there, but there's a lot of jobs that, yes, they're going to treat you well. They're going to pay you what you're worth. But then there's other jobs that they take advantage, right? That's another thing. If you're too kind at some jobs, not every single job, again, not every single job, but some jobs will take advantage if you're willing to do the work, like extra work, right? Where you got hired for these tasks, but now you're asked, oh, this person's out. Do you mind doing his task as well? Oh, okay, he can do this person's task. Let's add some more work onto their plate, but not increase their income, right? And then they'll put a blanket term over that and say, oh, we're a team here. We work as a team. We got to help each other out. Meanwhile, you're stuck with someone else's job and you're not even getting compensated properly for it. So that's another thing. You got to be careful with some jobs. Not every job does this, but some jobs will take advantage if you're kind, if you're too helpful, right? They'll see that you can handle more of a workload and they're only paying you $25 an hour. Oh, He could do 40 hours, or he could do 60 hours worth of work. Let's give him this task. And then we can give the other person more tasks since that job's going to get done. It's like, so watch out for that, guys. Don't be too nice. Like, everyone's capable of doing anything, but don't do it for free. Get paid for it. You're at a job to get paid. If you're trying to move up, you know, that there's people that will do favors and will do tasks to try to move up. If it's your dream job, that's different. But if it's something that it's just a dead-end job, something like don't overwork yourself for a dead-end job. Until you get that dream job, all that's out the window. When you get your dream job, you can start climbing the ladder, trying to get to that point, you know, and try to always look to improve, because every person's replaceable. Always try to look to add skills, add value to you as a person, because that's what's going to increase your value at the workplace, right? So if you're in tech, for example, I'm looking to get into cybersecurity. I'm working on my bachelor's degree that I'm going to get in a couple months. I'm adding value to myself. If I learn how to code even further than what I know how to do, I'm going to add even more value to myself. So I already kind of know what I need to do to improve. So that's your homework after watching this video. If you're still watching this video, what are things that you can add to yourself that's going to increase your value in the workplace, right? And again, if it's too easy, then it's not worth doing, right? Think of things that are tasks or certifications or certain things that are going to add value to you that are the common people aren't going to go out and do that because it's too much work or too much hassle. Try to figure out what that is, guys. Everyone has skill. You just got to find out what that skill is in, right? So I'm not going to make this video too long. I hope you guys took something from that. As you guys see, it's getting dark out here. But hopefully everyone has a great rest of the day. And hey, be sure to like, share, subscribe if you found this video useful. And I'll catch you on the next one, guys.